Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Knights of the Turntable podcast. This is episode 13 in probably, 2 weeks now? I think we're doing pretty good. But we're missing out on a couple people. Gary can't be here. He's putting up G-Unit posters.
He's sleeping. We already know he's sleeping.
It's the weekend. He's not sleeping. He's on the G-Unit street team. He sent me his game, album of the year list. There's somehow 50 Cent's on it twice.
Yo, I had this theory back in college that people in the UK didn't get popular albums until 4 or 5 years later. So he's just now getting the wave.
Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so Gary's not here. He's on the street team. He's doing work. Props to him. I hope they're paying him. Then we got Richard Bailey, who's a little under the weather. So he's been missing out. He told me he was taking some meds that kind of put him down. So
we still got a great cast for tonight.
Oh yeah, we've got a great cast. This is technically the largest cast we've had, or it matches the largest that we've had.
Matches. We've never had 6, but we've done 5.
Word. We have Joe Hova, of course.
Yo.
We've got Matt Dean.
What up? How we doing?
We've got the technical still newbie, Edward Mason, Major Mason.
No intro needed.
Hey, brush that shoulder.
And we have a special guest that I invited on today. Would you care to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Sure. Hey, I'm Dominique Gonzalez. What else do you want me to say?
Whatever you want. What do you do?
What do you do that is hip-hop related?
Well, first of all, I listen to it.
Most important part.
Second of all, I do work with a local artist out of Nashville now. He was in Memphis, Type P. Yeah, you'll find out more, I guess, as we talk.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
No problem.
And I am Profex, your host. I'm going to try not to screw this up. But let's get this.
Profex, a.k.a. Charles.
I was supposed to kick Joe off here a long time ago. I don't know why I keep saying
kicked off. We got a full cast. Why the hell do we still have Joe on here?
Because I'm the star of the show.
No, you're just some lame-ass radio DJ who thinks what, Tupac? I'm sorry,
we need to get a big DVD for y'all.
Trupac.
I think a beef is brewing on the show. We're gonna have a little drama story.
No, I like Joe, and in all truth and honesty, I just give him shit.
Right. All right, well, let's jump right into this. Some of us can't be here all night, but let's go into what we're currently listening to. We'll start with the special guest, Dominic. What are you currently listening to these days?
Lately, if we just think about today, I actually listen to Black History Project a lot. I know that's old, but that's what I listen to today. J. Cole's newest, of course, since it came out this week. Trying to think. On a regular basis, I'm still listening to Crit's album, actually, as well.
Word to that. So that's pretty much it? That's your rotation right now?
On a regular basis, yeah, that's the rotation.
Or Major Mason, what you listen to?
You know, I've listened to a lot of disappointing things this week. Although one of them is not J. Cole's project. Before we go there,
was that a shot at Matt? Do you really think Matt is about to really destroy that album, man?
I think he's about to tear it a new one. But let me give mine out before he does it. It's okay. Hold on. Let me get mine. So. I heard this new joint, Who Would Have Thought by Chief Keef and Future. That was garbage. There was a new Mace single out.
Did you expect any different from Chief Keef?
No, no, I didn't. But people were blowing me up like, you need to listen to this, and I did, and then I unfriended them. So then Mace actually has a new single called Bubblegum. That's garbage too.
Well, first of all, what Mace in 2014?
Because see, like people hit me up to listen to this. So like I'll listen to it if someone is like, hey, you should listen to this. But lately, like I said, I've just been getting a lot of bad suggestions. Rich Hubby Quan and
Rich Hubby.
No. We're not gonna acknowledge that.
In a way.
Call him that.
Up, Up and Away, featuring like Birdman and Young Thug. That was garbage too.
Wasn't that the name of a Kid Cudi song too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Lil Wayne had a song like that too. Like, so that doesn't look good. From the same label and the same camp. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, I'm done. I'm gonna step down.
Rich Hubby Quan, I'm disappointed.
Rich Hubby.
Matt Dean, what have you been listening to?
Actually, I've been keeping it a little old school too. Obviously, I've been listening to J. Cole's record. That goes without saying. But I've been listening to Cunning Linguist's Will Rap for Food.
Okay. I've heard great things about that. I haven't listened to it yet.
You need to go listen to that record, dude. The skits are fucking hilarious. The skits are funny as shit. The record just has a lot of great tracks. A standout track is Fucking With You, where they just both, Deacon and No, the two MCs. No is also, he's the white boy on the record. He also is the producer. But they're just saying all these fucking ridiculous shit. Like at one point, No says, follow what's right. No, hell no, I'll follow what's wrong. Some Bill Clinton a new gift, a new gravity bong, right? Like, they're just saying, like, all this fucking ridiculous shit that's actually kind of offensive, but if you bring it back to the hook, they're really just fucking with you.
Okay, got it.
If you've never heard Will Rap for Food, that's, in my opinion, that's a classic.
Oh, that's a big statement.
It's a great record, dude. It really, Mike Like a Memory, which I think is the third track, it still makes me cry every time, man. Like, I can't, oftentimes, actually, we listened to it in the car, I had to skip the track because I was driving.
All right.
Like, I just couldn't listen to it. It was going to be too much.
Okay, cool. I'm listening. If I'm disappointed,
Check
we'll talk
it
about
out, man. That's a good record.
All right, word. Jehovah.
So obviously J. Cole, and then I went into this weird thing where I started listening to Run the Jewels again because I hadn't listened to it in like a couple of weeks. And I think LP has my favorite line of 2014 on Oh My Darling Don't Cry.
And what is that line, sir?
Fuck the law, they can eat my dick, that's word to pimp.
You know what?
Rest in peace, Pimp C.
Yeah, we got a favorite verse thing for 2014. You might need to throw it in there.
Yep.
But listening to that album again, that's not weird at all. That's still in my rotation. I'm listening to that. I'm actually listening to a lot of older stuff too because I'm trying to finalize my albums of the year and mixtapes of the year. Mm-hmm. So I've also been listening to Black History Project. I've been listening to The Waters again.
Project of the year, in my opinion.
Big, hey, we're going to talk about it for sure. Sava's joint, Comfort Zone. I've been listening to Cadillactica, J. Cole. It's been all over the place, but that J. Cole is just getting constant spins, nonstop, and I love it, man. But let's go ahead and jump into the first topic for tonight. One of my favorite artists, Jean Grae, got an article at Pitchfork.com called "The Spectacular Second Act." This was way back in November, and we meant to talk about it like the last 3 shows, I think. But we finally get to talk about it. Yeah, but the show goes into detail about the things outside of hip hop since she's gone completely independent, like her TV show that she did on YouTube, her R&B album, and other things like. I'll start with Matt Dean. What did you think about the spectacular second act of Jean Grae?
Now, I didn't actually watch any of the YouTube videos or listen to the record. I did read the article. From word for word, I read it. And I respect Jean Grae on a whole nother... I already respected her because she's probably one of the best women in hip-hop. And I shouldn't even say best woman in hip-hop. She's definitely top tier in hip-hop, period. With that being said, I really respected the fact that she's very eclectic in what she does. She's got a sitcom on YouTube. She's got an R&B album. She's got an audio book. She's just one of those ladies that shows that she loves hip hop, but she's a lot more than that, and that's something that I really, really hands down just. Really, it makes me more of a Jean Grae fan than I already was. I will check that stuff out. I just haven't had time yet.
Word. So Ed Mason, I can't recall, but I think you listened to Jean Grae before because remember we were discussing the top female MCs, right?
Yeah.
Did you get to read the article?
I did. And you know what I really think needs to be capitalized on here is like the level of diversity. Like you definitely need to honor that and acknowledge that, because in hip hop we have this stigma where even people within the culture will start to box themselves in, and it'll be like, I'm a rapper, so I'll do some rapping, and then if I want to get creative, I might do a movie, or I might, star in an episode of a predictable TV cop drama, or you know what I'm saying?
Or comedy.
Or comedy, but the moves are already pretty much set in stone. So a lot of these artists who are doing these things and saying that they're diversifying their portfolio really aren't doing that, and that's not the case here with her. I mean, how many people can we talk about that are doing sitcoms and while doing audiobooks while making good music? You know what I'm saying? So like we need to embrace that and promote that, because I feel like that's how all hip-hop should be. Like, if you feel like you have a talent or a passion for something, go after that as well, because just because you're in hip-hop doesn't make you just an hip-hop artist.
I have one more thing I would like to add, if that's okay.
That's fine.
That I also respect that. And at the end of the day, what I got from this article is Jean Grae says, fuck the world, I am going to do Jean Grae. I am going to do the things that make me happy. I'm going to. They're at the end of the day, they're for me. They're for Jean Grae. But if you enjoy them, by all means. She doesn't necessarily say I'm going to just do music. Even. She literally she's a creative person, and anyone who has a creative outlet understands that eventually you move into other creative outlets and you play with other. Somebody who sews doesn't just necessarily sew. They knit and they do handicraft and they do paperwork and they do all sorts of shit. Just like Jean Grae doesn't necessarily just rap. She does movies. She does audiobooks. She writes. She does, creative people find creative outlets, and that's something I appreciate is just like Ed said, she doesn't box herself in and she doesn't do anybody else than Jean Grae. And it just makes her come off more genuine.
Absolutely. Genuine is the key right there. Like, I feel like there's a certain level of authenticity. I can't say that we can't get it because we don't really know. We're not hanging around these artists, but we know not to expect certain things. And when you have an artist that's completely indie like this, that has that freedom, it's refreshing.
I'm not going to buy Young Thug's book if he ever releases one.
You know what he's saying? It's going to be one page and it's going to say, we wearing this ice, getting this money. We ain't talking about nothing else.
Yeah. We're not finna talk about the politics. We getting money over here.
I would definitely read a Young Thug book.
Would you really?
I would definitely read it.
It'll be a coloring book.
It's gonna be a word search.
It's gonna have like 10 pages that are just connect the dots of him with ice.
It's gonna be connect the lyrics.
Connect the lyrics.
Try to match it up.
I really hope that if Young Thug made a book, it would be one of those pick your adventure books.
Maybe we need to do a book about Young Thug. How about that?
That would be beautiful.
Young Thug, choose your own adventure.
Yes.
How does it start? Where does Young Thug start? Is he at the club or what?
Hopping out the bando. That's where it starts.
Busting out the bando.
You should know this, man. We did a lyric reading. You should know where it starts.
I feel like I was on that.
Reading?
We did a Young Thug lyric reading. It was kind of fun.
No, it wasn't kind of fun. It was spiritual. It was quite spiritual. Go listen to it. I don't know if we have it up yet. Do we?
No, not officially. It's up on the YouTube, but I haven't created a post for it because I was trying to get some buzz around it. Plug. But yeah,
that shit was great.
Yeah, the Young Thug's poetry slam, basically.
No, it was I think we called it a Young Thug, a spiritual reading.
Yep. Yes, we did.
But get back on top.
I felt closer to a higher power after that.
I'm really glad we got to there with you.
That was fun. Especially, I really liked reading it in this kind of the tone
the actual lyrics.
Yeah, the actual lyrics. skipping that word I can't, as Joe likes to say, that word I can't say on the radio.
Word I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah.
No, he didn't say like he can't say it on the radio. Like Joe doesn't say it at all.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm sitting in my room and blasting some hip hop, dude, I don't edit it myself.
Thanks for sharing.
I'm proud of you, Joe.
Oh, dude.
Well, wait, hold, pause. Get back on topic. Dominic, what is your background with listening to Jean Grae before we get into the article?
Okay, so I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about her, but
Okay.
I did read the article, and what I find is dope about her is she's not letting anyone like exploit her talents, if that makes sense, or her creativity. Like not letting anybody say, let me write a show for you, let me produce a show for you. She's like, no, I'm gonna do it. When she's on Instagram posting stuff, still doing music, singing and rapping, and it's kind of showing that I can do everything, which I think a lot of artists aren't bold enough to do. They kind of get stuck on like one thing. I'm going to do this one thing. Then when I make it big, I'll maybe do a fashion line, like we talked about earlier. But for her, it's like, whatever, whether you know about me or not, like I've been around, since the 90s, and I can do all of this, and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait on anybody. It's kind of inspiring. Like even though the article was kind of sarcastic, which I appreciated.
It's Pitchfork. Did you expect any less?
For me, it was like, yeah, I need to be like her. Like instead of just waiting around for stuff, if I feel like I'm going to do it, do it. Don't let anybody else come around and try and tell me when or how or like steal credit for it. That's what I appreciate about her, and I'm definitely gonna go start looking at the videos and listening to her stuff for sure.
She's self-sufficient, and I think this is gonna be a trend that she starts with other independent artists, because she's doing the YouTube videos, she's doing the R&B stuff, she's still rapping, doing the books, all that kind of stuff, and she's self-sufficient with it, like everybody has said. She's not relying on anybody else to do it. So I think
honestly, she's not the first, but
but people are going to see this business model and be like, hey, I can do this too, so let me give it a shot.
She's definitely not the first, but she's one of the few that has gotten to a level of fame and backed all the way back down to just distributing herself.
Y'all might laugh, but I mean this honestly. She in ways reminds me of Da Vinci.
Okay.
Because I will explain. Da Vinci did all sorts of stuff, right? He made inventions, he wrote poetry, he did art. Da Vinci did a lot of stuff because Da Vinci was at his soul was a creative person, right? He didn't care, just like Grae. Grae, I get the impression, and I don't know if this is the case, this could just be marketing, but I get the impression she is more about her creative talents and her artistry than she is about getting that money. And that was also kind of Da Vinci, too. Da Vinci wasn't rich. Da Vinci was kind of piss poor most of his life. But, he still made his inventions. He still made his art. He did everything a creative person could do because he is a creative person. That was the important thing to him. That's the impression.
True, and that's the way. And I think you're absolutely right with that comparison, because a true artist, I mean, yeah, they want to get paid, but at the same time, they want their creative freedoms and their liberties.
Right, and at the end of the day, Da Vinci got paid too, but he didn't. Just like you said, he didn't sacrifice his liberties to do so. He did Da Vinci, and that was it. Grae does Grae.
Well, for one, I think we just came up with the title for this podcast when we posted on the site.
What is it?
Grae is hip hop's Da Vinci.
All right.
Which that's a pretty dope comparison, and you're spot on with all the points that you had. Like that's incredible, and I agree with you on everything. Like I cannot argue with that at all. And there's still a lot of stuff. Like, have you listened to her latest stuff?
No, I haven't. The last record I really listened to from Jean Grae, I can't remember the title of it. It was the concept album where it was like a day in her life. I can look it up, but I don't remember the name.
Gotcha. She did the R&B album, which was called Number 5. Like, it was an R&B EP, and I listened to that for the first time.
Is that her fifth album?
It may be the fifth project, but her stuff is so broken up because like Gotham Down has like 3 different parts, so I don't know how she's counting it.
By the way, this week was the last thing I heard from her. It was like a concept album that was like a week in her life.
Gotcha. I haven't even heard that one.
That's a great record, dude. Check it out. Aya Likes is probably the standout track. It's the second track on that record. It's probably the standout there. Aya Likes.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And just another thing to throw out there that she's trying to do, she is actively trying to be in Ghostbusters 3.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be there for that.
Yeah,
Yo,
'cause
a lot of rappers are making their debut in movies. Diane Ward is in that. What was that film? Hold on. What was that Diane Ward? That film about a robot. We saw a preview for it. Chappie, yeah. Diane Ward. I don't know if you've ever listened to Diane Ward. They're this Southern African hip hop group. It consists of 2 members and a shadow member named DJ High Tech. It literally, Diane Ward is Southern African for the answer. It's what's great about that record is it doesn't take itself very seriously. Like if you listen to a first glance, you'll think it's a joke, but then you listen to the way they construct their lyrics and the production, and it's definitely not a joke. But they're making their debut in I think it's a Disney film called Chappie. It's about a robot.
You said they have a ghost member named DJ High Tech. Are we talking about D High Tech?
No, it's a different High Tech. He's they've showed him on camera once. He's some fat kid.
Okay.
Like if you go on Wiki and you look up DJ High Tech, there's DJ High Tech and then there's DJ High Tech parentheses Diane Word.
Okay, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah, different DJ High Tech, but he's like a ghost member, and I don't know if it's the same DJ High Tech, but they don't advertise it as such.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look them up, it's just the 2, the one MC that goes by Ninja and the one MC that goes by Yolandi Visser.
All right, cool.
Their first record, check it out. It's funny as fuck, and it's actually pretty good.
Right. Yeah, that's everybody. That's some new music for y'all to check out because that one's completely new to me, and I wonder if it's like the legit High Tech. That'd be pretty awesome. But even if it's not, I'm definitely anxious to check it out. But moving into the next topic, I don't know if you guys know, but it seems like Lil Wayne is having some issues with Cash Money Records.
Ooh, yeah.
Which, raise your hand if you're even surprised by this at this point.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead, Joe.
surprised.
Wait,
I'm
what's
so
up?
surprised. I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like shocker of the year, really.
I was waiting. I was waiting for Lil Wayne to tweet like his account got hacked. I was waiting. Like, you know what I mean? I was waiting for that to break. Like, it was just like, Lil Wayne's tweet. No, that never came
That's
through.
the thing. Everybody was waiting for that, and then 2 hours went by, and then 4 hours went by, and there was still no "I'm hacked" tweets or anything like that.
Yeah, and to clarify for all the listeners that may not be abreast of this whole story, the Carter's 5 was actually supposed to come out the same day as J. Cole's album, and that was after the second pushback of the album. But it seems via Wayne's Twitter that Cash Money is holding his record up. I do not know the reasons. We can only.
I know the reason. He doesn't even have a single right now.
Man,
That's not a good enough reason, though. That's not.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He hasn't had a good enough single all year to drop this album.
Man, he should have floated off of that feature with Young Thug, though. The buzz from that.
That's a Rich Gang song, though.
True, but it still counts, man. Like, it gets the name in the ear. I mean, like you said, he doesn't have a single. When else are we going to look forward to? Because his verse on Only, with that Nicki Minaj track,
Garbage.
that was absolute garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is, like, everybody thought that when he was tweeting that, like, it was just, like, some propaganda because he doesn't have a single out. So they were, like, we were thinking, okay, this is just getting hype, and then the album's going to drop at, like, midnight or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe they need to go that route. But it seems like he'll be out of his contract or try to figure out a way to get out of it.
No, he has a lifetime contract.
Does he really?
Lifetime?
Yeah, he's lifetime.
And that's the problem with that whole unit over there. Like, cause he was going hard. Like, if you think Lil Wayne back in the day, like back when he was paying for Birdman's trips around the world, you know what I'm saying?
Block is hot.
Yeah,
or
like,
whatever it was.
like the problem with this is, like, and the same thing goes for, like, Drake, and Tyga's already been pretty vocal about his issues and stuff. Like, when you get signed onto a label, and you go so hard, and you're just like, it's cash money to the death of me and stuff like that. Like, you need to really think about what you're saying, because right now, Lil Wayne, above all else, to me, seems like he probably really regrets that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because now it always looks like something else that we don't know about might be the reason. And maybe Lil Wayne is just kind of like angry about something, But at the same time, it's like you've already made this pledge. You've made this pledge, and now you look stupid in my eyes.
Well, you know what's crazy is I think Baby realizes he's milked the Wayne train as much as he can.
Yeah,
Wayne
I agree.
And
I agree.
And why do you think that he put out that mixtape with Rich Hubby and Young Thug, and Rich Gang is like basically taking Wayne's spot right now?
Right now, and I think that's key. It's like, I don't know if I was Birdman that I would have had a conflict with Lil Wayne at this point, just because right now Lil Wayne is probably at the weakest point in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Young Thug is still relatively new. Rich Homie Quan is relatively new to the mainstream scene, and
but Young Thug, like Young Thug's the hottest artist of the year, regardless of what people say, and he's gonna be that way next year too.
But I wouldn't speculate too hard on that one yet. Like, 2015 is still wide open. Like, 2014, we can say, yeah, all right, I get your point.
I don't know. Remember the 2 Chainz run from like 2010 to 2012? I think Young Thug's gonna have one of those.
Oh, fuck you, Joe.
Look, I'm just saying, he's one of the hottest artists out right now.
I was gonna stay quiet. In fact, Madison told me to stay quiet because I was talking too much. But fuck you.
Woo! Yeah, like, I think you're being generous with the 2-year mark, to be honest. But let's say that he does do that. Mm-hmm. I don't see him producing the kind of longevity that Wayne was blessed with. Whether he was writing his stuff or someone was writing it for him, Wayne has had a pretty damn good run that I don't think is going to be emulated or duplicated by Young Thug. I just don't see that happening.
But I don't think they're reaching for that anymore, because that's nearly unattainable in the first place.
And that's where I was going.
I don't know. Drake, on the way that he can put out an album about the same concepts like every year or so, I don't know.
But that's
they're losing Drake.
Yeah, they pretty much lost Drake already. Like,
so they're going for the.
You don't think he's getting some kind of royalty like Bird? You don't think Birdman's getting any kind of money at all? Like there's probably.
Birdman's getting royalties off of all of them.
Hold on. Go ahead, Dom.
I think Birdman's absolutely getting money for Drake, probably forever. Somehow.
Exactly. Pause. I don't think he's getting money forever, because think about this: Drake was not new to show business when he came into hip hop. He was already making money off of his acting career, so I'm pretty sure the people that are in his corner were smart enough not to make a lifetime deal.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, but he will continue to get royalties off of any features and all that stuff, so he is going to get paid
he's going to get some part. He's not like Drake won't be in like the ditch that Wayne is in right now.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Cash Money right now, and Ed said this, that nobody's going to have a run like Wayne had, and I don't see it. But right now they're going the one and done route, like they do in college.
Yeah.
So Birdman's going the Coach Cal route right now. He's getting all these highly touted stars, and he's just going to keep bringing them in like that.
Yeah, but he's now limited to fresh talent, because you remember the whole emphasis that they put on signing like the OGs like a couple years ago, and T-Pain and DJ Khaled and whoever. I mean, there was a good 5 or 6 people that were deep in the game, and they signed them, and a lot of those deals fell through. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you never really saw much. You might have heard a single, they might have been on a feature, but nothing ever came into fruition. So I feel like Birdman realizes that his best bet is going with young, maybe a little bit less experienced artists, because he can get more over on them. And I hate to say it like that, but I mean, we got to say it for what it is. Birdman is pimping his artist, and it's just that simple. Like, that's what he's been doing. That's what I think he's going to continue to do.
And Juvenile is dumb as shit for going back to Cash Money for a third time.
True. I
Yeah.
can't even explain that. Like, no.
Like, I'll forever love Juvenile. Back That Ass Up is like a top 5 song of all time to me. But, like, how dumb do you have to be to go back to Cash Money?
Yeah.
Or desperate. I mean,
Desperate is what I was thinking too.
I'm thinking desperate.
Yeah.
Is Matt Dean back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you got another fuck you to throw out there, or are we good?
No, we can move on to the next topic. We good?
Okay. Well, the second tier of this topic is, okay, so say if Wayne gets out of this deal, you know, he just dropped a bomb on me.
Well,
that was a
I did
lifetime
have
deal.
one thing to add, actually. Do you think he'll be the artist formerly known as Lil Wayne?
No.
He may really start going by Tunchi.
That would be a horrible career move.
Nah, they already call him that.
No, I don't call him that.
I don't call him anything, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
I call him.
See, my tongue would get tired of doing all that every time they talk about Wayne. I can't do that.
Word. But so say just if the stars aligned and Wayne got out of his deal, what would be a good home for him at this point in his career?
Independent.
Yeah.
Completely independent?
Completely independent.
I don't think
He could rock independent.
His name's his brand. He's gonna sell based off of that.
And he
Yeah,
he does have ties to Tech Nine, so Tech Nine could actually do the whole
I was
mentoring
actually going
thing.
to say that.
And
Anywhere
show him the rope.
Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say if Anywhere Strange music.
Yeah.
if he went to Strange, that would be amazing. And they're tight too.
Yeah, they are. They are. So that
I'd be okay with hearing him on Strange music. I'd be all right with that. He's a great feature artist.
It would actually elevate his music, in my opinion. Probably.
Yeah, no, I think he's one of the better feature artists.
Well, we hope it would elevate him, but Strange music's not gonna ghostwrite for Wayne though.
No, but just having like Chris Calico on a hook, you know, and Tech Nine on a verse, that would be good for him. That would help him out a lot.
Word.
I can't tell you what's gonna help him writing, but yeah.
Syrup.
And honestly, Strange music's got enough money they might ghostwrite for him.
Nah, I don't see it happening, man. I do not see that because at this point, he needs them more than they need him.
That's true.
Yeah, probably.
Whole supply demand factor.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and jump into the next topic, the big topic. And I know Matt is ready to speak on it.
Matt's got it against the clock for this.
Yeah. You know what, Matt? Hey, Matt, I'm excited. I'm glad you're excited to talk about it.
I'm not going first. I am not going first.
So, unless you've been under a rock, J. Cole dropped 2014 Forest Hill Drive this past week.
I mean, technically, we were all under a rock because we didn't know about it.
Yeah, nobody knew about it. Yeah, you're right. We were all under a rock. You're all under a rock. But we did get the promo video, the trailer / documentary that came out. No, not the music video. There was a video before that also.
Oh, okay.
That was like a 7-minute thing, like highlighting it and stuff.
Yeah, and then we got the intro video, and I actually didn't know that we got the apparently music video until today, but it is on the Koalition.com if you want to go check that out.
It's dope.
J. Cole's album is out now. Most of the reactions have been quite positive. I haven't seen very many negative things unless they're talking about his singing. But let's get into everyone's opinions. First off, we'll start with the special guest, Dominique.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest here. Of course, I love J. Cole. I think he's great. The first time that I listened to it, I was disappointed. I found I listened to it on the way home, like driving home, and I was like, he's singing so much, I'm getting sleepy. And I have a long commute, so it kind of put me off. I had such high expectations, and I was like, it's only 2 songs that I like. I let it go for the night. I listened to it again. And I don't think it's like great. Like people are trying to call it a classic, and I think think people aren't like giving it a realistic rating because he's been dope. He's been like showing up to protests across the country and like visiting fans and doing all this stuff. So he's a great person, but it's not like a great album. It's not what I wanted from him. I mean, I give it like a 6 out of 10 at this point. I do have my favorites. Like I listen to A Tale of Two Cities like all day long.
Oh, that's
one of my favorites. That's dope.
That's probably like my favorite.
I love the Dickens references
like
in that.
I'm reaching to like 03 Adolescence and January 28th. I'm reaching to like it because I want to like it so bad. It's not the best. People are saying it's his best, and I just don't agree.
That's how I felt about the Future album earlier this year. Like there were so many songs that I was like, man, I want to like this, but I can't.
Yeah.
All right, Major Mason.
I liked it. I can understand why certain people are disappointed because, you know, there wasn't the J. Cole that I think a lot of people were waiting for. But I still think that he does make some like very valid points, and he does kind of show a side of him that I was kind of waiting to see. It was kind of reversed for me, like when J. Cole came on. Like when he came out, I was really kind of hesitant because obviously, you know, his roots with Jay-Z and everything. I was waiting for him to really differentiate himself from what I'm used to hearing from like Rock Nation and the Kanye thing. Like when he made the new workout plan, like I felt like the people who like that song, I felt like are the same people who like Kanye's original, and he rode that hype all the way to making that song a hit, in my opinion. Now,
I like that it was free 99.
Yeah, that was dope. But I mean, like for me, I was waiting for this progression for him to see a little bit more. And the singing thing, even though like it's gotten a lot of comparisons to like Drake and stuff, like I thought that was a little bit refreshing because he put so much emphasis on it that even if you thought it was bad, which at times I did, like I'm not saying he sung great because like obviously he's not a singer at heart. So to show that level of exposure to where it's just like I'm gonna do this, and you know if you like it, you like it. I thought that was dope. I don't know necessarily that he knew, you know, that he would just hands down be given like such positive reviews. I think that it was a little bit more up in the air for him, and I think that kind of showed in the way that he delivered the album as far as announcing it.
And hold on, pause. Matt, you said something about it being free 99.
Oh, I was making a reference to the fact that he said he was talking about J. Cole's remix of Workout Plan.
Okay,
and
got it.
The skit in Workout Plan is those girls talking about how they got the record for free 99.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that track obviously was a remix, so you can find it for free.
Right. So what was your counter to what Major Mason has said?
I lost my train of thought, man.
We can come back to you.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Joe Hoven?
So I like 2014 Forest Hill Drive. I've only listened to it a couple of times. I listened to it when I was like show prepping at work one day, or a couple of days that week or something when the stream was up. My thing is, and I mean, Tale of Two Cities is fire. A lot of people are saying like they hate Wet Dreams, but I loved it. I thought
Wet Dreams.
I don't understand how they can hate that song.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, like it's dope.
Story, I like Story J. Cole, so I appreciate the story.
Mm-hmm.
I love Story J. Cole, and even though that song's kind of explicit, like, forgive me for saying this, it's kind of cute. Like, it really is. Like,
we gotta ban Matt. We gotta ban Matt from now on.
No, but really, like, hear me out on this, right? Like, it's about this dude. He's trying to hit up this girl. He's playing himself up like he's some big shot, right? And you know the hook. You know, the hook is really simple, and you know, it's talking about first time, never done this before, blah blah. I'm not gonna sing it, but and then at the end, you know, the last verse, right when he's about to get the girl, she says the same thing to him, right? Like, this is my first time, and then it comes back to the hook. It kind of reminds me a bit of that Pina Colada song. Like, I understand different genre, but it kind of had that same kind of twist. Like, at the end of the day, we're both virgins, and this is our both first time, and it was just kind of endearing is the word I'm looking for. Like, it was even though the song was still relatively explicit, you know, it's kind of a dirty song. It's still about that kind of that first love, you know, like, and it was endearing and it was sweet.
Right, that wasn't first love, bro.
Well, not first love, but you know, first cherry, first pop, first. There was still an endearing. Somebody's got to agree with me. Somebody.
You know what was really dope though. I'm gonna transition into another thing I thought was dope about a certain song on I think it was Fire Squad.
I love Fire Squad too.
I think he reiterated almost everyone's opinion of Iggy Azalea.
But
in there.
Oh yeah.
But there's a big but with that statement.
Let's wait, because let me
big butt Iggy Azalea. What?
Double entendre. Don't even ask me how.
You got me though.
What?
You got me. You got me.
Hey.
Go ahead and finish it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because I looked into it because it stirred a lot of controversy. Obviously, that song in particular, and you know he's kind of clarified, and I didn't really think it was clarification because that's what I took from it. But he was quoted saying that the lyrics, you know, in that song are meant to point out an observation that white people started to sound black on tracks in order to sell records. And, you know, it was more about a capitalistic standpoint that it's overreaching into hip-hop. So, you know, like, I know a lot of people got hot over that, but I kind of took it for what it was, and I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think what was interesting is that Twitter was like, oh, he's coming for everybody kind of thing. And I was like, I never took it as a diss. Like, I read the lyrics and I was like, well, he's kind of right.
He was
That's how I felt too. I took it as an observation.
Yeah, I can't. And then I just kind of like moved along. I was like, oh, that's dope. That's moved along.
J. Cole moved along. Like,
Yeah.
in the end of the day, J. Cole didn't. The whole record isn't about how white people are stealing black culture or whatever. The whole record was about something different. And I'll go into that later. But that was just a talking point, and I felt he moved along from the talking point, and he moved to the next one.
Yeah,
I agree.
Definitely.
All right, there was another happening that I'll throw in there in a second, but Joe, did you have something to say?
Yeah. So Tell Two Cities and Wet Dreams were probably my favorites. The last track, it reminded me of Kanye's Last Call because of all the shout outs and stuff. Here's my thing with 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Like, it's good, but I feel like Cole fans hype him up way too much to be something that he's not. And I also feel like he's always going to be the Charles Barkley of his rap class, I guess you would say. Like, he's going to have fire. He's going to have great seasons. He's just never going to win that championship. And I don't think this one does it.
And I can relate to what you're saying on that because, like I was saying earlier, like when he came in, you know, as Jay-Z's protege, you know, it felt like they were really trying to force him into that like Kanye position. Like they were like it's another Kanye. Here he comes. He's finna do like, you know, 4 or 5, you know, records back to back that are gonna go multi-platinum. And
he's way more technical than Kanye.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like the thing to me is like why are we trying to put that label on him? Like, let him do his thing and then we rally around it whether we like it or not. Like, if you don't like it, then you don't rally around it. But let's not put all these labels and all this pressure on him saying that he is this. And I mean, I think Jay-Z tried his best to try to like keep that down, but it ultimately didn't work because it's Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So that's how.
Are you trying to infer that Jay-Z doesn't work? I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, yeah, it's like it's Jay-Z. It's like anytime Jay-Z signs somebody, everyone is expecting like that Kanye run or that Jay-Z run. It's like, let him do his thing. Like, he might come out and people might fall in love with him, or he might come out and people hate him. You know, just see where it falls.
Word to that. My opinion on it is actually a little further up the scale from what y'all are saying. I think, hands down, it is his best project. Sonically,
that's probably a fair statement.
That's not saying like, hey, this is a classic. But from his works, like his albums, his retail albums.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say the mixtape stuff. Yeah, like.
No, I'm not talking about his mixtapes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the albums that he has put out in stores. I think
things you can pay for.
The ones you can pay for. This is the best one. The first album, I did not I did not enjoy it very much.
Because it was radio. It was
Warm Up?
radio heavy.
I
I
agree.
assume we're talking about Warm Up.
No,
Yeah.
it's
No.
Sideline Story.
Yeah,
It was simply built for,
I went back
for the
and
radio.
listened to some of his other stuff, and I thought Warm Up was pretty good.
yeah, one
Warm
was
Up is
amazing.
dope.
But like, shout out to Rakeem on weightinwords.com. We actually did a first impression over there, and I talked about how I felt like his earlier works, his first 2 albums, were just stepping stones to get him to this point, because I felt like there was a level of pride that came through in this record. You can tell that this is the album that he wanted to make.
Yeah, and he had the freedom to do it because of the success off his first one. Like, he had to kind of like bide his time and give the label what they wanted, but with this one it feels more realistic and organic.
He finally
Sorry to
got his
cut you off.
playing time senior year.
Yeah, and then the fact that it's 2014, I think he wanted to put it out this year specifically because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And like after the buzz of the second album, he just basically went into the studio and went to work. And like I don't. There's not a misstep on the project to me. I don't mind his singing, because when I first heard it, before talking to anybody about it, because I got the leak or whatever, I immediately thought of like Mos Def. Mos Def is a better singer than him by far.
Yeah, but I thought comparisons too, because Mos Def isn't exactly a great singer either, but he makes it work.
Right, he makes it work, and there's a lot of people that do the singing thing and they make it work now. Like even Kendrick does that on occasion. So it didn't make sense to me that people had an issue with his singing, because it still sounded fine. Like now that's in the studio. Now he did perform "Be Free" on Lemon, and it sounded pretty bad. Like some of it sounded pretty terrible.
It sounded like he was screaming.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as like Mariah Carey's most recent.
Send me the link to that later.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it to you. But it was good, and I really enjoy this album, like from beginning to end. And there are some songs that I didn't even like as much that are growing on me, like "Love Yours," which is second to last song, is incredible.
I like that song. That's one that I like. That one's not a reach for me.
Yeah, that song is really, really dope. I love that one. I love January 28th, I think is his birthday.
Yeah, you and I talked about that's your favorite, right?
Yeah, that is my favorite song on there. And I like Role Models. And another thing that I pointed out in my first impression on Wayne Words, a lot of the stuff is recycled content for J. Cole. Which,
It's recycled content, period.
well, yes, but I don't compare the content to all the other artists.
You should, because that's part of critique.
Why would I do that for every artist? Like, oh, somebody's talking about growing up in their neighborhood. Oh, wait, this artist is talking about. Why would I do that? I don't want to do that. And that
Why-
makes sense.
why
everybody
really?
has a struggle, and I
Right,
want to hear
but-
and listen to it that way. But this perspective
Fair
that he did. Say what?
Fair enough.
Gotcha. This perspective he did with like the women that he meets, it was not necessarily the best story, but it was the most entertaining version of that story. Just the beat, the song itself, the hook, the verses. I think it was better, and I think that's overall my reason for enjoying this album. Though a lot of it is familiar, the execution was better across the board. Now, Matt,
I feel that.
I understand that you wanted to say something about it specifically.
Whew.
Here we go.
Ooh. All right, let me preface. I really liked this record. I really did enjoy it. With that being said, I wasn't really a J. Cole fan before this. I don't even know if I'd consider myself a J. Cole fan after this. I did go back and listen to his couple other records. I listened to his 2013 release, Born Sinner, and I listened to The Warm Up. I will say this, I think 2014 Forest Hills Drive is probably his best project. With that being said, I guess let's start out with the positives. Let's start out there. Technically, on a technical level, he did a lot of really good delivery, a lot of really good cadence. His cadence was solid the entire time. He knew when to keep it complex. He knew when to take it simple. He kept it really simple in almost all the hooks. A lot of the hooks are really memorable. All right, here's my beef.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
That word I can't say on the air.
We're
Yes.
not allowed to say because of your skin tone.
Cause of this melon in my skin, the fact that my genetics are slightly different from yours, I cannot say this word, and that's fine. We listened to it the entire way through, and we lost count. Over 250 is what we got. And I don't even have a problem with this word, because I listen to hip-hop. Obviously, I don't have a problem with this word. Say it, right? But when you say it over 250 times in the course of a record, it comes off lazy. It comes off, like, when you rhyme that word with the same word, like, don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for an identity rhyme, you know, rhyming the same word with a word. But, oh my gosh, J. Cole does it so much on Forest Hills Drive that it almost becomes a distraction. Like, you might not notice that, and like if you didn't, but go ahead and just take a random track, any track you want, and I guarantee you he says it at least 20 times, which it's not even the word, it's the fact that it's just lazy writing. Like, there are so many other nouns, even two-syllable nouns, because I understand that's two syllables, you know, the N and the G, right? It's two syllables. I understand that. There are so many other two-syllable nouns you could use in its place. When you look at even other artists, that like Nas, right? You look at Nas, and Nas does not use that word 20 to 30 times on a track. And I get it. He's allowed to use it. It's fine, whatever. But when you're listening to the entire record through and you actually pay attention to it, 250 plus times is a little much. Like, it just comes off sort of lackadaisical.
Do you also get mad at Tarantino movies that have fuck in it forever?
Yeah, I also get mad at that Limp Bizkit song where they say it like 50 times in the track.
You know what though? Like, real talk, I feel like I've uncovered something that I don't think you're going to acknowledge, but I'm gonna reach here.
Go for it.
The fact that you've put J. Cole in that category to where you expect him to be better than that is actually a compliment in itself. Because if we were to talk about every rapper that did that, like
There's
half
probably
of
a
the
lot
day-
to have 250 on a record, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna deny what you're saying. Like, I see what you're saying, and you know, I'm gonna go actually count the next time I listen to it just to get that exact number. But
It's at least 250, at least.
But even as we say that, and even as we look at that as a negative, we're still saying that J. Cole, shame on you, because you're better than that. You see what I'm saying? So
Try to
even
find
though-
another noun. It just
I
came up.
understand what you're saying. I
Yeah.
get you. I get you 110%. Like, I'm there. I see what you're saying. But I think that being said, you kind of know that he can do better at the same
Right.
time.
With
So-
that being said, I also want to say the only two I listened after this, I listened to Born Sinner, and I listened to the warm up. Forest Hills is definitely the best of the three,
Okay.
in my opinion. Again, others may differ, but
Well,
I
it's
honestly
strange
think
that you're comparing just those three. Like, did you not listen to the Come Up or anything?
no, because I didn't. Is that a mixtape?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't.
you really got to go listen to Friday Night Lights, though.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna give you that plug.
skipped a few.
Gonna get that plug. Getting that link.
Yeah. But you know what? I hear you on some of your concern with him using the word. I have my own personal thing where I feel like he should use it a lot less. But I didn't notice it. But of course, me and you are in different positions where that being, you know, it having the stigma, of course, it would stand out more for you than it would for me.
Right. I just think of other artists that are of, I don't want to say, it almost sounds bad to say skin tone, but I think of other artists that are in a similar position to him that don't use it as much. That I appreciate what Ed said, because I didn't think of that. Like, it's the fact that I expect better. It wasn't the word that bothered me. It's not the fact that, like, I don't think explicit words are explicit. They're just sounds,
Yeah,
right?
me and you were having that conversation, yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, you use the same sound too much. You use that same, N plus G. You used it way too much that it just came off filler. It came off lazy.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
He probably didn't use the word the or at as much as he used that. And that's saying something,
Are we
right?
gonna have to do an entire podcast about like the lyrical breakdown?
I'm really gonna count this. I think I'll make it a Koalition post too.
Do it.
Yep.
You should do it. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
All right.
I don't know. I just kind of think that's kind of nitpicking.
See, that's my immediate thought is that I feel like it's nitpicking, but
I see what Ed says too.
Yeah, exactly. If Ed hadn't put in what he said, then I'd feel completely different. Like my immediate reaction was gonna be like, "Well, that's a bunch of BS. I'm not hearing it."
No, I actually really appreciated what Ed said.
Yeah,
That's bad, bro.
that
was
sense.
I was a little worried, like I was gonna come off like the asshole just for noticing it, but I definitely noticed it.
No, it's all good.
On not even the 20th listen, like I noticed it.
I don't know. Maybe Charles and I and Dominique too. Maybe we're just like conditioned. Like we hear it and we're just like, okay.
I'm conditioned too.
I mean, I hear it. Like, trust me, I hear it.
A few times a day, so I don't know. I mean,
I just hear it. And that's the thing. Like I hear it, and I don't pay any attention to it. I'm just like, oh, okay.
You could have replaced that same word with brother, and I still would have been equally as kind of because it has nothing to do with the word itself and the fact that it's just overused.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a time and a place for an identity rhyme. Like identity rhymes work. They tend to accentuate your point, right? When you use it too much, when you use the identity rhyme too much, as J. Cole did in this record, it tends to kind of diminish your point. There are lots of examples that I can think of that are good identity rhymes, where you rhyme the same word with a word. But when you do that 10 times in the same track, it just kind of loses its power.
I hear you.
I wonder if Trinidad James has more on I can't even remember the name of the song now.
Oh, no. He doesn't have as many. Because, for one, he doesn't rap that fast. For the hood. That's a question for the podcast. Where is Trinidad James?
I bet you we could get him to come on.
Yep.
We'll have to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all right, so Matt, are you going to stick around, or are you going to have to head out?
How much longer are we thinking?
A good bit, because I've got a couple things that I wanted to bring up about Firing Squad, particularly.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to salute and bow out, man.
All right, I understand, man. You got an early day tomorrow.
Yeah, I got
pleasure, bro.
4 hours. So, y'all, gentlemen, have a great night, a great podcast. Oh, and lady, I'm not used to that. And thank you for joining us, Dominique. Y'all have a great show, okay?
All right, man. Take it easy.
Be safe tomorrow.
Be careful.
Yeah, I will. I'm not driving, so shit. I'm gonna sit in the passenger seat and smoke my cigarettes and fall asleep.
You sound like my dad.
What'd you say?
I said you sound like my dad.
Maybe I am your dad.
Oh God, no.
Oh, yeah. Let's not.
All right.
Peace out.
Y'all have a good night. Matt Dean out.
Take care.
Good later.
Before closing out the conversation on Forest Hill Drive, so the thing was said on Firing Squad, the Iggy Azalea part, the Eminem, Macklemore, and what was the third person? There was another person you mentioned, Justin Timberlake, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, it deflated it when he said, "I'm just playing" right afterwards. But he had an interview with Angie Martinez, and he kind of recanted him recanting and said that hip-hop is mostly white now. That's a quote.
The actual quote is, hip-hop is like completely white. That was the quote.
It's like completely white is what he said. Which, at first, when he first said that, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But there's parts of it that ring true, like in the mainstream and stuff. But how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all believe that is a sound statement? do you feel like we're heading? If you don't believe that we're in that point, do you think we're heading in that direction right now?
Well, that's just white culture. White people have been stealing shit for years. I mean, that's how this country was founded.
I was just about to go there, but I'm so happy somebody else did it that had a lighter.
No. To clarify what Ed said, he's so glad that someone white said it.
Yes, most definitely, because I will start fires if I go off.
That's just white culture, though. I mean, we took America from the Indians.
Manifest destiny, bro. Manifest destiny, bro.
And that's what they're doing with rap music right now.
Yep, it's destined to become okay. Anyway,
I shouldn't say they. I should say my people because I am.
My people.
Joe does not identify with them anymore.
I don't.
My people. That's all right. You can come on over here, brother.
I told the receptionist at work that I'm not white like other people are white, and she didn't understand it. And I had to explain it to her.
It's all good, brother. We got soul food and Kool-Aid. You can come on over. It's all good.
Man, is Kool-Aid even a thing anymore?
I don't drink it. I don't drink it, but I think it's still.
I still drink Kool-Aid.
All right.
Proud of you.
All right. So, with all that being said, he also mentioned something about this is kind of the time that I guess black artists take the game back, and I think it was on Hip Hop DX. I was looking at it, and they were talking about how he is about to do some serious numbers without any kind of heavy promotion and no single and stuff like that.
He's projected 350,000.
Which is ridiculous.
That is nothing.
Like that is nuts. Not only is that nuts, like for this album, but no single, no nothing.
Yeah.
He's gonna outsell. He's gonna actually get close to Rick Ross. What Rick Ross did for Mastermind in March.
Man, is he even on the chart anymore? Like for real? Like Rick Ross? Where does that stand? Where did that stop?
Totally. With Ross's 2 albums this year, he still didn't go gold with those 2 albums combined.
It doesn't surprise me though. Like it doesn't surprise me.
But didn't he mention something about breaking records?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like when people start
drop a bunch of garbage.
When in general, when people start putting more emphasis on the numbers that their singles do rather than their total number of album sales, I feel like that's kind of like a foreshadowing element to it.
It's ringtone rap. It's ringtone rap all over again.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. When we talk about singles and the singles status more than the importance of the album status, I think there's a general problem with that. So
because I never remember when we were kids about like seeing anything about singles going like gold or platinum.
Nobody talked about that.
Yeah, nobody.
It was about the whole project. It was about how the project flowed cohesively and sounded as a whole.
And I don't know if that's because like we're getting older and so like we're times are changing and we're just like not adapting to it or not. But it's it's one of those things where I think people since we live in the ADHD world now, like you kind of want that single to pop, and then like if the album doesn't do well, hey, at least I sold 1 million singles.
Yeah, but is that really the best mentality? You know what I'm saying?
It's like, not, but it's a means. It's a means to make money.
I think that music suffers as an art form when that becomes the main focus. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, you'll have songs that you can relate to that occasionally get to the radio and do well, but when we start letting mainstream manufacture hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you do. You make this song on this beat with these people, and you say this. Like, that's not art anymore. That's just copy, cut, and paste.
That's money.
Yeah, that's money, but that's not art.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, people don't care about the art anymore. People are more concerned about the money. That's why I think Cole did this album and marketed it the way it is, because he actually cared about it, because it was art to him.
Yeah, I think we definitely have to be careful with that, because we definitely want to label that the mainstream is taking that approach, because there's still a lot of independents that really sacrifice a lot and don't see all the recognition they deserve to express themselves. So, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
Now, just like you said with Jean Grae potentially starting a trend for independent artists, with the success that we have from Kendrick's album, which is being more of the art, like the legit art form that we enjoy, and then J. Cole's album, do you see a resurgence of that becoming more popular within mainstream? or you think things will just continue as they were? Joe.
I don't know. I mean, the mainstream, like if you look at it 10 years ago, who was the only white artist who was actually popping in rap music? It was, and I mean, you can say that there was like Bubba Sparks, and there were certain like white artists as well, but like none were popping like Eminem.
Bubba Sparks is I don't know where he's at.
Hey, don't knock Bubba Sparks. He was dope when he was here.
I actually reviewed a project on my site, and it had a feature from Bubba Sparks, and it made absolutely no sense on the project. So
that's kind of awesome. Awesome.
But I think, but you look now, and like the mainstream has figured out how to take this hip hop culture, get these white artists, and make it on their own. And I think that that's just going to be the thing that we start seeing more and more.
Gotcha. Now, Dom, you have a different perspective on things, considering that you promote an artist. How do you feel about these, like the marketing side of things, and what best fits the type of artist that you want to promote?
It's hard. It's really hard, I think, thinking about it, and the artists I work for we really try to push entire projects because he's a storyteller. And so you could take one song that you could probably play in the club, or like that would be great on the radio, and people might love it, but they don't understand that like fits into an entire story, which is like, the entire like mixtape or like LP or EP or whatever that we're putting out. And so it's kind of hard because we find ourselves in trying to like build awareness about him as an artist, like towing this line of making songs that are simply just going to be hot, to hope that like, okay, maybe everybody listen to the rest of his stuff, and like maybe everybody will get like, they'll like this song so much they'll get wind of everything else. It doesn't really happen like that. Like people will literally like one song, be like, that's a great single, and that's it. And so
do you?
Although he's like getting buzz, in Memphis, and like he's won competitions and stuff like that, but it's literally just for like the one song. And so, I mean, it's to the point where you're like, okay, let's change something up and maybe re-release this project, or getting feedback from DJs and other folks who've been in the industry and listening to what they're saying, and they're thinking the same thing. Like, you got to have a really great single and hope that you'll have maybe a couple of other really great singles that we can put on the radio, and then people will like pick up on it and love you as an artist, and that's what's going to get you on.
Do you also think that because everybody makes music now, that like factors into like why it's so hard?
I think that's a lot of what he believes. Is he says a lot, like everybody raps. Mm-hmm. Everybody calls himself an artist, and everybody's trying to put out something, especially in like living in Nashville and realizing that literally everybody is creative in some aspect except for like me. So it's great. Like everybody will be like, oh yeah, my boyfriend does music. Like literally every coworker I have, somebody does music, which is wild to me. And so I think that's kind of what it is. Where like everybody's pushing something out. Everybody wants to support their own and doesn't really want to support you. They feel like I can only support one person or one group of people in every genre, and that's not you right now. And so there's just like weird competition for like who's next, who's going to be hot. And I kind of think it's ridiculous, considering that I listen to so many different people and love them all and will push them all out on the same day. But I do think that's what's making it hard, and trying to figure out like what is it that you're going to have to do to get people to at least notice, that you're around. And I mean, he performed at a Grizzlies game, and so like white people know about him now in Memphis, but they aren't buying they're not buying the music from him. They just think he's like cool. They're like, oh, we saw him at the game, that was dope.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, so I think it's tough. I would love to see like less of a push for just singles. I actually hate that. I hate when people are like, yeah, but his single is, at this place on the chart, in terms of somebody. And I'm like, yeah, but the rest of it was trash. Like, everything else is trash. Or even that song is trash. That doesn't make you a great artist. That doesn't make a great song. That doesn't make great music. I would love to see shift, but I don't know.
Because anybody can make a great song. I mean, shit.
I-
Just look back at all the one-hit wonders.
Yep. Every day I consider putting a song out. I can't sing. J. Cole can't either, and look at him. So, I mean, why not? I think I'm creative enough to do it, but, like, I kind of hate it because I feel like the music that I love so much and the art that I love so much, people are saying it's dying. But I know that there's so many other, like, artists out here who are doing great things. I think they're in this struggle for, like, how exactly am I going to get this good stuff out there to a big enough audience who's going to listen. But everybody else just kind of like everybody just wants to know, like, what can be played in the club. Like, J. Cole's album came out, people were like, he doesn't have anything you can really play in the club, so I don't like it. I was like,
And that's
how
the
often are
thing.
you in the club? You're 45. Like, how often are you in the club?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I turned 27 this year. I can count on one hand how many times I've been out to the bars. Like, I don't go out to the bars anymore. Like, how many people are still going out to the club like every weekend?
I have no idea.
That
I
gets
don't.
old.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Like, the people that say stuff like that are kind of, I guess, why that album came out like that. Because if you have those singles and stuff, it sets an expectation.
Mhm.
Like, people already have the expectation for the singles themselves, and then, just like you were saying, I've never thought of it like down to this point, but the fact that you're trying to give them a piece of a story and get them interested in the whole story, I've never thought of it that way, but that makes perfect sense. And like, it gives you a whole new perspective on the artist's struggle to get their music out and the management, whoever is trying to handle them. It's tough, like, especially when you naturally don't do stuff like that. Because we saw what happened when Cole's, struggled through making a single. He let Nas down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy that Nas, a person that kind of has the live or die of singles and stuff, was disappointed that an artist in that same world went the route of making a single. I'm like, if I was J. Cole, I would have been like, what the hell did you want me to do? Didn't really have another option. So, he built that buzz off albums, and then he could do the third like he wanted, and now he's outselling both of those. Like, I wish people would see that and be like,
well, that's the thing. People don't see the music industry as like a job. Like, if you think about your job, like, you have things that you don't want to do at your job, but you have a contract or whatever. Like, you're obligated to do them, so you have to. And that's what a single is for an artist.
That is true. That is true. But it's hard when you're looking at the creative realm of things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, because you want it to be as untainted as possible. And we understand with major labels, there's going to be a level of them putting their hands in the cookie jar, but you hope that you don't have to deal with that. And I just wish I could have been a fly on the wall when they were discussing this third album from J. Cole, because I'm as much as they, panhandled everything with the first two, I'm surprised that it could come out like this.
Well, we talked about this too, and I can't remember when we talked about it, but this is his last album on Columbia. So to me, it seemed like it was like a last-ditch effort to get off of Columbia. So, hey, let's do this album, get it done, and then boom, we can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's all possible. But that was a great conversation on the J. Cole album. Like, just quick question: did y'all listen to "Be Free"?
I did.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did y'all listen to the second version of "Be Free"?
The Letterman version? The one he did live?
Yeah, the Letterman one.
Yeah. That was powerful.
I know Joe listened to it. Ed, Dom.
No, what happened with that?
Okay, so he added a verse to that one because the original song didn't have him rapping on it.
Yeah.
And he performed it on Letterman and added that verse, and he said some harsh truths in that performance. Joe, you want to go ahead and speak first?
Letterman looked shocked at the end of it. I've never seen. My dad's a big Letterman fan, so I've grown up watching Letterman and seeing the artists on there and stuff, and I've never seen David Letterman look like that shocked after an artist had performed on his show. Like, that's how powerful that performance was.
Yeah, it was pretty deep. Dom?
I need to. I didn't hear it or see it. I was probably sick and asleep.
Gotcha.
But do you have the link? Like, is it like up somewhere?
Yeah, actually, I have it bookmarked because I keep going back and looking at it. Like,
Okay.
it is.
The singing's rough, but once you get to the verse and like, and I think the singing being rough adds to the powerful message because
Because
it's like,
pain, like
yeah, it's like he's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting the link for it in the chat right now. If
mean,
y'all want, go ahead.
I think the song itself is like a really emotional one. Like I listened to it a couple times yesterday and today. Why I don't know. I think it's super catchy. Number one, but number two is very relevant to like this the movement around like ending police brutality, and so it's one of those things that is almost like an anthem for what's going on, and so like the emotion that I think I felt in with just him singing, like I think I looked past the bad singing because I felt what he was saying, like I could understand. So I'm very interested to hear like the rap portion, and, like live version of those emotions coming out.
Yeah, it's like with this, I don't even know if this was his intent. Was to get on a live stage and like debut this verse because we may never get this as a CDQ, version.
Somebody stripped it down already. I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody stripped that audio.
I'm definitely gonna be looking for that, and, like putting it on my phone. But real quick, Dom and Ed, the link is in the chat. If y'all want to go ahead and listen to it right now while me and Joe talk about it, we can pick up once y'all are done because it'll be the last.
Yeah, let me do that because I want to get on this.
Okay, but it's entirely possible that his strategy was to, hey, you can't mute us, Ed. We're doing the show. Sorry about that, y'all. But Joe, and just so you know, you are muted before you start talking.
All right, I'm good. I'm good.
But it's entirely possible that it was a strategy for him to have that song out, have the verse not on there, and then get on Letterman and just blow it out of the water, like completely surprise everyone. Because I wonder, when you go and perform on Letterman, are there do you have to submit the lyrics beforehand? I'm wondering if there's any kind of screening for it.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen
Tyler the Creator was on there, so it can't be that deep.
He was on Letterman. I know he did Fallon.
Yeah, he did Letterman.
Oh yeah. If Tyler could get on Letterman, then there's probably nothing like anything. There's probably no screen. Well, Letterman doesn't care anyway. He's retiring in May.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a crazy day whenever he retires. But man, that verse, in a nutshell, he said a lot of things that I was thinking but couldn't put words to. Like, concerning politics and Obama and all that stuff. It was crazy the way he put it together. And you could tell that he was there for that message and he had to get that out. And I think that was absolutely dope.
I agree with you. Like it was one of those things you remember where you watched it.
Yeah.
It's just it was just, and it made so much sense. With everything that's been going on and him, walking around to the protests and all that kind of stuff. He took all of that emotion from those protests that he's been at, and going to Ferguson when all the protests were happening and stuff, and he put that on that stage. It was beautiful.
Yeah, man. There's so much that I can say about that verse. It was something else I was gonna. How I caught wind of it actually was him tweeting about it. Because I got home late from work. And I just saw him tweet, "Hey, my Be Free performance on Letterman is up." And I had forgotten about the song itself, so I was like, "Be Free, was that?" It was like a bonus track. And then I started listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, I remember this." And I was like, "Well, I love the message of the song, and I'm glad he's using it on stage." And I was like, my first thought was that it sucked that he didn't have any a verse on the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just sitting there. And I'm doing other stuff on the internet, just typing up stuff while it's playing, and then I realize he's rapping, and I have to go back to it and go back and then listen to it again, and I was like, what? And then I was like, did I miss a verse on the other version? Because I have the SoundCloud version bookmarked too. And I was like, oh, I didn't miss that. And I just kept listening to it over and over. And I was like, dude, that was brilliant. That was amazing. Somebody compared it to Kanye, saying that Bush doesn't like black people.
You know what I would compare it to, though? Kanye's Pinocchio Story performance.
Oh, that performance was dope.
Because Kanye, like, that's one of my... I love 808s. That's, like, one of my favorite... That's one of my top 5 albums ever, is 808s. And,
it was a great album.
And Pinocchio Story at the end of it is just the freaking cherry on top for me.
So much emotion in that song. Like, in that performance. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only version of that song that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, live version?
I've never heard a studio version for it.
Because it wouldn't be the same.
No.
I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. That's you know, that's probably a good thing why we won't get like a real CDQ version of this Letterman one. It wouldn't be the same.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, Dom and Ed, are y'all caught up yet?
They still muted.
Okay.
Here's the other thing that I've really liked. Like I mentioned earlier about Cole going, you know, he's doing the whole like, you know, walking around marketing and all that kind of stuff. But he was in, I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was in New York recently. He tweeted that he was going to be in Manhattan, and if you had his album in Manhattan, to tweet him and he'll come sign it for you. And
I saw a picture of a girl that tweeted that, and he legitimately did it.
He made it all the way to Philly. Like, there was a girl in Philly, and he went to meet up with her in Philly to sign his album, to sign her album.
That was dope.
And here's my other thing. I got it. Where in the hell are they selling those beanies at with that logo? Because I want one.
See, I haven't seen one. Is a logo from what?
It might be the Forest Hills like logo. I'm not for sure, but it's like a cartoon F, and it has a heart and a money sign.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on like his website or anything, unless I like looked at the wrong website or something.
There's a deluxe version out there floating around we don't know about. All right, so Ed, what's your take on that verse after your first listening, man?
I feel like that like took the song to a whole nother level. Like that really revolutionized the whole concept for me, because I knew what he was speaking on, you know, before that verse, but I don't feel like it captured all of the pain. And I feel like with that verse, he finally was able to kind of complete the song to make it what it needed to be and what it should be, and now what it is. So it was powerful for me, man. Like I was kind of doing the David Letterman look. I was like, you said that for real? Like, wow.
On live TV?
On live TV, where like white people are everywhere. White people are everywhere. Like you could get jumped after the show. Like, okay.
Hey, man, he was speaking some truths, man. And the only issue that I could even have, and it would be nitpicky, is that he may be giving Obama a little bit too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like, yeah, it's dope. It might be a realistic thing that, you know, Obama jumped into a sinking ship and all that stuff. Which, that was already true. And it was a sinking ship.
Yeah. I feel like not only David Letterman, but like everybody in that crowd had that Bill Cosby silence going on after that.
Oh, you had to throw Bill Cosby in there.
Like nobody wanted to say nothing. Nobody was saying nothing.
Why you gotta do that,
Why you gotta talk about Cosby, dog?
Hey, just had to do it. Had to throw it in there. If the shoe fit, man.
Had to do it for the 99s and the 2000s.
For the 99 and the 2000s.
There you go.
Is Don finished listening yet? Guess not. We'll go into some of the final words. Did y'all have any final words for this show? Ed?
Man, y'all need to add me on Twitter. Like, everybody who doesn't have me on Twitter needs to add me on Twitter. I tried to DM Charles, and I couldn't even DM Charles. So, Joe, you need to follow me on Twitter. I think I follow you, but I don't think you follow me.
Yeah, I'm awful at following people.
You need to do that. Everybody else who's listening, if you want to, have exposure to dope coverage on hip-hop and gaming, you need to follow me. It's at Major Mason. Both M's are capitalized. No space, no numbers, no fancy stuff. That's about it.
Word. Joe Hogan, final word.
You can follow me on Twitter too, at JoeHovasMF. Make sure you check out JoeHovasMF.com. I have the 2014 awards going on right now, voting for that through December 28th. And, of course, free Gucci Mane.
No.
I thought we was going to make it without that.
And one last thing, my boy Dot, my artist, my dude that I work with, we're releasing the first single for his upcoming project that is going to drop next year. And we're going to drop it on Tuesday. It's called Ace, and it's dope. And I'm not just saying that being biased. It's good.
I am looking forward to that. You know, I've gotten the chance to listen to a lot of Dot's stuff, man. So I can't wait to see where the
He's got a whole new style and a whole like it's amazing to see what we did in a year.
Did his Jay-Z references evolve into Nas references?
I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil anything though. All I can say is the song is really good.
All right, cool. Dom, what'd you think of that verse?
Oh man, I'm over here like, he really said this. It's real.
Yes.
Like I'm really over here like rubbing my forehead because I'm like, I gotta be like J. Cole and start speaking out.
Yeah. Can't hold
Wow.
can't hold your tongues anymore.
No, not at all. It definitely takes a song to a different level. I appreciate that. Wow. So now that I'm speechless, I get to do final words or something so we can close the show.
Yeah, pretty much. Perfect timing.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. I'm very random. It's Miss Domi, so MSDOMI 13. The same thing on Instagram. I'm probably on there more often.
Is that an AOL screen name?
I mean, I had an old life, and so, this year I transformed and changed my name. Super deep story. I got an album coming out next year, and I'll talk all about it. I'm lying. But,
I was like, what? Everybody raps.
Everybody raps, everybody sings, that's me. But seriously, you can definitely follow Tyke T. So that's TYKE, 2_T, on Twitter and Instagram. Check out drivenbymusic.net. You can listen to some of his music. He's on SoundCloud. Yes, of course, I have to promote my homie. I think he's great, and I'm very biased.
The plug!
But,
There you go.
I throw the plugs and everybody else did. And definitely appreciate y'all throwing me on the show last minute. This is cool. Invite me back sometime.
Okay, I was just about to ask you. You want to come back and we scare you off?
Yeah, if you're going to talk about Nas, I definitely need to be here. Because
Uh-oh. Yeah, we're definitely going to have that. I guess, I think it's overdue that we have a Nas Jay-Z conversation, Joe.
Oh my god. Do you really want to go down this? Like, you know what's funny? Is LJ and I were talking about this for the Redefined, and we're gonna do a post because everything it's gonna be like the 6 degrees of Jay-Z Nas on Twitter.
You can go into the deepest conversations, non-hip-hop related, and it's going to end up being Nas and Jay.
I could start talking about like Ja'Cory Harris throwing an interception like 3 years ago at Miami, and then it would somehow translate into Jay-Z versus Nas. And they have nothing to do with each other.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. You know what? I'm going to double check and make sure we don't have any comments on the actual live showing. Okay, no, we don't have any right now. Unless I'm missing them some kind of way. But my final words, I guess since everybody shared their Twitter, I'll share mine too. It is just one underscore, because I'm not as boss as Tyke T with his double underscore.
I mean, THE_CSJR. Follow me on there. I'm not going to guarantee that my behavior is going to be, up to snuff, but you can follow me.
I will say that if you follow me on Twitter, that I do talk about Migos and Young Thug like 35% of the time, and those you guys who follow me on this chat can attest to that.
Yeah, 35% is probably lowballing it.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
35% is lowballing it.
Yeah. It might be 50.
Oh man, that would have been the perfect time for Gary to pop in and do a 50 Cent plug. Word. But thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Knights of the Turntable. It was definitely great to have you on, Dom. We're definitely going to be bringing you back. I think this is one of the better shows that we've done. It was. I mean, it's not like we have like 100 that I could just pull from, but it was very good. We had some really good conversations, and I look forward to the next one. But until then, peace out.
True puck.
You gotta go.